Hi, I'm Daniel from OLPRO, and the reason why I'm doing this video is that normally at this time of year we'll just be starting out on a number of shows, outdoor shows, particularly Campervan, VW festivals, which we love to attend, and it's a great thing to be out there talking to people that use our products, people that are obviously thinking about buying our products as well, but also getting good feedback as well from people, and I think that's really helped us as a company to develop a lot of the product that we now put out there, and we continue to work on and we continue to develop. So yeah, thank you for all of that. It's obviously a strange time, and because of that strange time that we're going through, it means that a lot of the festivals that we would be attending now, we're not able to get out to. And one of the really good things about being at festivals and events is that we do get to talk to you and we get to answer your questions. So me and my colleagues at OLPRO just had a discussion and decided it'd be really good to put together some of the questions we get asked a lot at shows and just do a really quick video, just as quickly as we possibly can, answering those main questions. So I hope this is useful. There are lots of other ways in which you can get in contact with us and keep communicating, and we really do want that. So that would be great. I'm going to go through all those at the end of the video, so by all means stick around, and hopefully I do answer a question that you've been wondering. But if I don't, then by all means ask us that question yourself. That'd be amazing. We can then, as I'll explain at the end, we can add that to our list of FAQs. So hopefully helping other people as well. So the first question I've been asked, I've not looked at these yet, so I hope there's no really tricky ones in there. But the first question that we've been asked, which is a very, very common one, is how do campervan awnings fit to campervans? So the main product we sell at shows are our range of really good standout campervan awnings. And the way in which they fit to a campervan is, to be honest, the same way in which many campervan awnings fit to campervans. And that's through a multitude of different ways. So you can fit one of our campervan awnings straight out the box to any campervan that's on the market. The only sort of stipulation to it is around height. So our campervan awnings will fit anything up to 2.5 meters tall. So that's 250 centimeters. So if your campervan is under or is dead on 250 centimeters tall, then you're in luck. You're going to be absolutely fine. An OLPRO campervan awning will definitely fit it. So the ways in which it will fit, so there's a few different ways, and this is where it gets ever so slightly more complicated. The first way is if you've got a rail on the side of your campervan. So this could be a metal or an aluminium rail, a strip that you'll see going along the side of the van, often just above the door or just under the top of the campervan itself. And sometimes it's what's called a K-door rail. So this is a black plastic rail that goes along the top of the campervan. If there's that there, and there's what you can see is kind of a slot and the whole way across it, that is where the beading from the campervan awning goes. So on the end of our tunnels, the tunnel which you step out into when you leave the campervan and go into the campervan awning, that tunnel has beading on it, and that beading will slide through the awning rail or through the K-door rail. So that's the nice and easy way in which they can fit. We then do drive-away kits, which make the whole process a lot easier, and I'll explain those very quickly in a minute. If you don't have a rail or you don't have a gutter rail, another way to fit is if you've got a gutter rail, so on a T25 or a T4, you might have something which is clearly a gutter on the side of the van, and the awning itself will fit into that. So now to do that, you need what's called a figure of 8, and a figure of 8, again, I'll explain what that is in a second, but it's essentially 3 pieces of plastic which you slide into the gutter, and then that beading on the end of the tunnel will slide into the other side of the figure of 8, so creating a join between the campervan and the camper. Okay, so and again, we've got information on this on our website, but I'll try and quickly explain both in a second. And then the final way, and a very common way and a very easy way to fit, and just means that any of our campervan awnings will fit any campervan out there, is by using the straps which come on the end of the tunnel. So on the end of the tunnel there are straps with buckles on them. Those straps can be thrown over the campervan, so they land at the other side, and then they're pegged down. And that allows you to create a really tight fit between the campervan and the tunnel of the awning. At the bottom of the tunnel, it's got pegs, little obviously eyelets where you can put the pegs through. So you can peg down the bottom of the tunnel, and then using the this tighteners on either side of the tunnel, you can tighten that up, and it creates a nice tight fit between the side of the camper van and the tunnel for the awning. So when you go off site, all you do is undo the buckles, and when you come back on site, you just put the buckles back in place, and there you are. You're all nice and fitted up. So it's an easy way to, if you're going to be on and off site quite a lot, and it's still quite a secure way. It's a secure way if you're going to be on site for a while. Okay, so there are three main ways in which you can fit our camper van awnings. There's another way called clamp and pole, but it's not very often used. So straight out of the box, they will fit anything. In terms of figure of eight, which I mentioned, if you wanted to fit to a gutter rail, what figure of eight is, it's a piece of plastic which, if you were to look at it long, kind of lengthwise on like that, you would see it's almost shaped like an eight. One side of the eight, with little holes on the other side of the eight, I should say. So the one side of it goes onto the gutter, the other side then leaves you kind of a rail in which you can slide the beading into. And again, if you want to leave the site quickly, you just move the piece of plastic and away you go. A drive-away kit is perfect if you've got a rail on the side of your camper van already. So taking the beading, rather than sliding it straight into the rail, what you would do is slide it into the pieces of figure of eight that you get inside the kit. And then also within the kit, you've got a double-edged piece of beading. This is so hard to explain without having it. Okay, so you've got a double-edged piece of beading. One side of that beading goes into the rail, and the other side you fit onto the piece of plastic you've just put onto the edge of the tunnel. So you end up with the camper van, the beading into the rail, the figure of eight on the other side of that beading, and then the awning on that side. What then that allows you to do is, when you want to leave site, is just pull out the figure of eight, and it allows you to drive off. When you come back, obviously with the beading inside the camper van, you just slide that back on, and you're fixed to the camper van awning. If you want to see both in action, just go to our website, which is allproshop.com, and on there, on both of those products, there are videos showing you how they work, and also some diagrams, which I think is probably more useful than me trying to explain. Needless to say, though, any of our camper van awnings will fit any camper van. It's just the height that you just need to look out for. The second question was, do I need a rail? So the short answer to that is no, you don't. Of course, fitting to a rail, as it's probably the most secure in the sense it's often the tightest fit, but doing it over the van with the straps, I've got to say, can be as tight if just done right. Weight differences between poled and inflatable awnings. There is a weight difference. There are many advantages to having an inflatable awning. They are quicker. They are very often stronger all round, often because they're generally a heavier product as well. So that means that in terms of their bag weight, they are a little bit heavier. So a poled awning obviously comes with fiberglass poles, which are in a sense lightweight. An inflatable awning doesn't come with poles, but the tubes themselves in which the air goes to sort of create the frame, they themselves are quite heavy. And the fabric that we use on inflatable awnings is also a little bit heavier than the fabric that we use on fiberglass poled awnings. So they are heavier. In terms of how much heavier, it's difficult to say exactly because we don't have exact equivalence between the two. So if you take a Cubo and a Cubo Breeze, the inflatable version, they're not exactly the same awning, but I would say it's anywhere between 6 kilograms and 8 kilograms difference between the two different types. So they are heavier, but there are good reasons for the way that they are, and they're not overly heavy. And also, what you're getting within an inflatable awning is everything really in one place, everything in one bag, so you can't separate things, unfortunately, because the poles are integral, because that's where the air goes. Why are we cheaper? Now, it's a question we do get asked quite a lot, and the really short answer is because we sell direct to you. So when OLPRO started 9 years ago, we set out to design everything ourselves and to bring to the market product which was different and which would stand out. So when you look at our awnings, you will see they look very different to other things that are out there, you know, whether that be the colours or the materials we use or some of the design features. And that's because we design everything in-house, and we do that with your feedback, with our own experience as well of using products over and over again. And so we're continuously developing product. So we do all of that in house, and then we sell it obviously via our own website. We do work with other partners out there, and there are campervan converters that sell our product. But everything is still always competitive because we're able to sell direct to you. So whether it be at a show, which obviously we're missing unfortunately this year, or whether it be over our internet site, we're able to give you really, really good deals. But it doesn't, as I think sometimes, and the reason for people asking us this question, mean that the product is any way inferior. It doesn't mean that it's any less quality. The quality of all our product is very, very, very good. Hence the reason why we've introduced our 2-year warranty this year. Obviously all of our product is 5,000 hydrostatic head. And it's a question we get asked a lot actually, that about waterproofness. It's, you know, all that product will hold up to 5 metres of water before it, you know, thinks about leaking, so that easily covers even the British summers and beyond. And everything is sealed as well, so wherever there's stitching in our products, and there is a lot because they're complicated products, everything has been sealed as well. But like I say, we have a 2-year warranty on everything. We always support, if there ever is a problem, and it's rare to be honest, we do support customers with anything like that. But yeah, we are cheaper because of that. That's kind of the sole reason. We're not making masses of money more. You know, we're just passing on that saving to customers. Okay, do you have to pay extra on campsites if you have an awning? Okay, so if you go back to kind of traditional awnings in terms of caravan awnings, if you were to take a caravan awning on site, you would expect to pay extra for it because you're taking up more than your natural pitch very often that you pay for with a caravan. With a campervan, that can be the case. If you're buying an awning and attach it to the side of your campervan, if you're told the site that you're a campervan owner, they might expect you to be taking up X amount of space. You know, obviously give you a little bit more space to sort of put things out front and stuff. But they might not have allocated space for an awning. So obviously you'd always tell them you're taking an awning. I think the reason why this question is here though is because we sell some big awnings. So the California in particular is a very large awning. And people often ask us, will they get charged even more than just an awning price because it is quite a size? The short answer is no. We've never experienced that. We've talked to campsites. We've done our research with the clubs as well. And we've never found that you should be paying any extra for a larger campervan awning. The reason being is that if you go back to that traditional method of the awning of the caravan, you would turn it with a caravan and an awning. With a campervan, your vehicle, your accommodation is in one. So you don't have the caravan and the car next to each other. You've got the campervan and then an awning. So even if the awning is a little bit bigger, it's still never going to be the size of your traditional caravan with an awning and a car. So, like I said, we've never come across that. I mean, the Uno, the Cubo, the Lupo, and the Cocoon in most cases is always going to fit within a standard awning pitch anyway. There shouldn't ever be an issue with that. It's just generally more around the California because it's a little bit bigger that people tend to ask us that question. How quickly does it take to put a product up? I'm not sure if I answered this before, but obviously air product, as you would expect, is a lot quicker. An air awning, any of them really, you'll sort of get the time down to about 10 minutes. Once you've done the first couple of times, you kind of get where everything is and what you're doing and stuff, and maybe made those first few mistakes of not tightening the air everything up tightly enough, or I don't know, not putting the inner tent. Well, that's one of the things actually, once you put the inner tents in the first time, you never have to do it again, so obviously that saves time. So I think the first few times you do it, it is always a learning process. You can look at the videos on our website, which will show you how to put up all the products that we sell, and the instructions as well, which, you know, some people like instructions, some people don't. The videos are probably more helpful, I would say, personally. But I would say that I would look at the videos, yeah, see how quick they are at being put up. But I would say 10 minutes on inflatable. In terms of a poled awning, I think when you get fast, you know what you're doing. You're going to get that down to sort of 20, 25 minutes. So it's half as fast to put up twice as fast, really, to put up a inflatable awning. And then in terms of taking down, it's exactly the same. It's much quicker to take down an inflatable awning than it is to take down a pole awning, because obviously with a pole awning you're having to take out all the poles from the sleeves again, put them all back together, you know, in terms of folding it all up, putting it into the bag. With an inflatable awning, all you're doing is undoing the valves, waiting for it to drop down, which takes seconds, and then rolling up and putting it back into the bag. So because it's all in one, you know, it's just a lot quicker to put up and to put away. So it's quite a big saving in terms of time, I would say. Okay, how big are they packed down? Again, we get asked this quite a lot, and in terms of all the awnings, they will all fit into the back of a camper van. So there's no danger if you buy a camper van awning and it not fitting into the footwell of the rear of the camper van. So absolutely no danger there. But in terms of the different sizes, again, going back to the size question, there are many advantages of an inflatable awning, but they are bigger. They are definitely bigger when they're packed down than a poled one. And a poled one is very much like a small tent, so it takes up really very little room. But an inflatable awning takes up quite a lot more room because of the inflatable tubes on the inside of the awning. And the fabric itself, as I said before, is a lot thicker, so that just takes up more room. So I would say very often, and I don't tend to say this very often, but I would think it very often, that it's a good idea maybe to have two awnings. So maybe a Cubo, which is a poled awning, you know, sort of around £200. That's a good kind of weekend awning, or a good awning if it's just a few of you going away. You know, so that's a poled awning that's, you know, still relatively quick to put up and take, as I said, about 20 minutes, but a very small bag because of what it is. And then if you're going away for longer, or there's more of you going away, then take away a cocoon, which has obviously got 5 berth inner, but a much bigger bag. So it just saves you that room in the back when you're travelling. I mean, obviously once you're on site, it's not really an issue because the awning is going to be up anyway. It's going to be no longer in the back of the camper van. So I think in essence it doesn't make a great issue. But obviously if you're going to be somewhere you're not actually going to use the awning, smaller ones sometimes are often more useful because you can just keep that in the back of the van. Okay, that was the questions that I was asked. So I hope that's answered those. As I said right back at the beginning of this shortish video, there are many ways to get in contact with us, and we really do like people talking to us because that's the way that we learn about things, and it's the way in which we get your feedback as well on what we're doing as a company, which is, you know, valuable to us. And so the ways in which obviously we put out a lot of videos. So if you look at our YouTube channel, which is Standout TV, there's a whole host, there's years worth of videos on there, a lot of product stuff, and we're trying to put a lot more information as well generally about campervan life or about camping, because of the series of tents that we produce as well. Another really direct way of getting hold of us is via our online chat. So if it's a weekday, if it's between 9 and 5, and if it's not a bank holiday, then there will be a real person on our live chat and you can talk to them. If it's not a weekday, if it's a weekend or it's a bank holiday, by all means you can use our live chat. There may be somebody on there because sometimes there is. If there isn't, then there will be a robot that we've programmed to answer lots and lots of questions. So many of the inquiries that you may have about our different products, there'll be answers to questions on there. Similarly, there is also our FAQ page. So if you go to our website, we have a very comprehensive frequently asked questions page. You can go on there and look at the questions that have been asked already and the answers that we've given. Hopefully that will help. All of our product pages are really detailed. We've got lots of dimensions and details and stuff on there. If all else fails, then we've got a contact us form on the website, so just click on that and fill that in, send that to us. That comes direct to our customer services team and they will help you. in whichever way they can. You know, whatever that's about, that's fine. You can use that. The other way is to use our social media. So obviously we're very kind of prevalent and always kind of on and around Facebook and Instagram in particular. So if you go on there and ask us questions, you know, DM us, inboxes, or just messages in any way you can on there, that's great. And we will definitely get back to you. Again, very often there's people around, even kind of weekends and stuff, and that people will try and answer if they can. Apologies if they don't, but they'll definitely get back to you weekdays. And then on Twitter, if there's nothing else, somebody will definitely respond to you on there as well. So hopefully there's lots of ways for you to get in contact with us. And we do, as I keep saying, really welcome that. And particularly at this moment in time, because we're not able to be at shows, so we are missing this interaction, which we usually have with customers. You know, both people that bought product and people that are thinking about product. As I said right at the outset, we design everything here at OLPRO, so it's really important to be talking to each other. I hope those questions have been answered. I would definitely recommend looking at our website for a little bit more on each of those, and I hope I haven't rambled on too much. But thank you, and take care of yourself.